Hey everybody, it's your girl Rach the Great, the blue hair pirate, and this is the Rach the Great show on YouTube. Today I interviewed Adisa Kareem, a 23-year-old illustrator from Hartford, Connecticut. Check it out. Adisa Kareem, welcome to the Rach the Great show.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. It's a pleasure. Adisa, for our listeners and viewers at home, is a 23-year-old illustrator from, where are you from?
I'm from Hartford, Connecticut. That's where I grew up.
Hartford, Connecticut. See, and it's so funny because a part of me was like, is he from Philly? He's not from Philly. That sounds too far away.
I don't know about Philly. We leave that alone.
Hartford, Connecticut. And you graduated from?
This is gonna floor you, right?
Okay.
I graduated from a science and engineering high school.
A science and engineering high school.
Mm-hmm.
To go to which college did you go to?
I went to Savannah College of Art and Design.
Wow.
It was a weird 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah, you know that's like your parents like have a second option for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I did freshman year. We couldn't afford to change schools, and I told my mom that's fine, but I'm not doing this with my life.
Yeah, you weren't gonna be science and engineering.
I wasn't gonna be an engineer by any means necessary.
And so you became an illustrator.
I've always wanted to be an illustrator.
You followed your dreams.
Yeah, it wasn't like a last minute change. I've loved drawing since I could remember, like being 3 years old and just copying images out of books just because I like doing it.
Fire. Just talented. Just blessed up. Because me at 3, my stick figures was on fleek. You hear me? All types of out of the lines. I was not cute.
Like my sister used to make fun of me because they actually thought I was a little like challenged growing up.
Okay.
And they were teaching me how to read, and they always tell this story. And I kept arguing and fussing because I wanted to go back to the Dr. Seuss book. Nobody realizing I just wanted to draw the characters in the book.
Yo, the illustrations, bro.
Like I was fighting my mom on what book to read for the night because it's like, no, I want to draw. She's like, why are you talking about drawing? We got to read.
Like, no, you don't understand where my focus is, lady.
Right.
I'm not looking at the words. I'm looking at the pictures. Because the pictures is what lasts the memory. And it's so funny. For those who do not know, I met Adisa walking our dogs, right? And this is the blessing of just being able to say hello. When we talked about this when Josh was on a couple months ago, you never know who you bump into if you just say hi.
It's true.
Right? And so I'm like, hey, I'm on the radio. And he's like, hey, I'm an illustrator for Nickelodeon. Like, what? Yeah, Bert, you look like me. You live close to me. How is this? It's just a thing. And then we start talking, and you're like, yeah, there's a lot of black illustrators.
There's a lot.
In
there is
Georgia.
There's so many of us, and that's mainly the reason I moved to Georgia when I went to college. I could have went anywhere, but Atlanta specifically had such a big art community, especially like a black art community.
So how did you find that? Respectfully, because I know that there's a whole bunch of people who at home who are like, I'm by myself, I'm lonely. Like, do I go on Facebook and just start looking up groups? How does that work?
There's no one way to do it.
Okay.
I think for me, where I grew up, like Hartford is very heavy into business, like any business realm thing. The state encourages that. So I didn't have a lot of art programs growing up.
Right.
So I would ask my friends and stuff, and like a lot of my friends had family elsewhere, and I guess in conversation it came up like, oh, you would enjoy Atlanta, because I knew like you have the obvious ones. You got California, but California is a little expensive and kind of far.
A little?
It's
my friend lives in California and has like 550 square foot apartment and is paying like $2,000 a month.
Ooh, a friend of mine actually almost moved there, and when we looked up prices of rent, I think both of us would have had to pay like $1,200 each just to afford one place.
No,
I think it was also a 1-bedroom at that.
Oh no.
So yeah, that option was dead really quick.
Yeah, okay. And so then
Atlanta came up, and by the time down our throats, you know how that's like from the time you're in middle school, it's like, oh, pick a college.
Exactly.
By the time that came around, I had literally had about 5 different colleges just kind of spread out in the country. And I could have easily gone up north.
Right.
And I could have gone to Massachusetts. I could have gone like further down in New York.
So grateful you didn't.
I just don't like the cold.
Yeah.
If it wasn't cold,
yeah,
we wouldn't be here.
See, and then you get sucked into.
And then I got sucked into Georgia.
See, but I felt like no matter where you were, you would have got sucked in anyways. But it's just amazing because the cold here does not compare.
It's not as bad. I will say I messed myself up the first time here.
Yeah.
My freshman year. I didn't bring any warm clothes, right? Because I'm thinking I'm gonna have to go home anyway. People talking about it don't get cold like that. Anyone from Atlanta that says it doesn't get cold is lying to you.
Lies.
I was out there in 60-degree weather with shorts on, suffering.
Listen, I woke up this morning to put my daughter on the bus, and it was 47 degrees.
And it's like y'all really don't feel that, I guess, but at least it doesn't snow.
Yes. It doesn't snow, barely snows.
It doesn't accumulate.
It does not accumulate. We got black ice. And that's what they warn us about because the black ice is so bad, but I don't walk anywhere.
Same.
So I don't think I have to worry about
And I actually appreciate that the city shuts down. I thought it was funny the first time I saw it because it's like, oh, we're going to have a storm. And in my head, after going through like so many years of actual
50 inches,
trapped in your own
100 inches,
house,
yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, this is about to get bad. I'm on a college campus and I don't have anything to prepare for this. And the next day, I remember seeing about 2 inches of flurries and the city was dead.
See, I like it. I like it. I'm ready for that. We didn't get that last winter, so I'm very much ready to be like, oh, winter wonderland-ish.
Man, I don't miss it at all. You can keep the snow right up there in Boston.
I'm crying. Okay, facts. Shout out to Boston. I love y'all. We air in Boston, so, we love you guys too. But going back to illustrating, right? And it's funny because I kind of had asked you this question earlier. To people who have these desires, right? Because I know many talented artists in Boston, right? Because we talked about being up north and things of that nature, and they will tell you that is not a feasible life path, right? Like you should not be thinking about being an illustrator because how would you be able to make money, right? And so I would like for you to talk about like how you decided to do pieces for commission and things of that nature. What was that process like? How did you tell yourself that your art is worth something after people kind of told you it might not be, and what advice would you have to younger people out there who are just starting or older people even who kind of gave up on their dream because people told them it wasn't worth it?
Well, I'm gonna have to separate what I did versus my advice towards people now that I'm a little wiser on it. Because I'm gonna be honest, the only reason that really kept me going with illustration, aside from genuinely liking it my whole life, was just being stubborn. Okay. That's kind of like a trait of mine growing up in childhood. I've always been stubborn on what I wanted to do. And shout out to my mom. The one thing I've always loved about her is that she will disagree with you, but if you stand your ground on something, she won't fight you either.
Oh, I like that.
So
I like that.
That coupled with the idea of me just realizing I don't like doing anything else. This is what I like to do. I've grown up watching cartoons. People got to make these cartoons. Right. People got to get paid for these cartoons.
That's a fact. I always thought about it.
Yeah, and I think any advice that I would give to someone else, younger or older, who maybe have given up or they're just looking for an outlet, you just gotta find, it's gonna sound cliche, but find where you belong. Like I said, Hartford at the time was not big on art or illustration or anything like that. And I just had to find a place where, one, people would support what I'm doing, two, where there are other people like me who have a passion for the same stuff. Right. And even meeting other people with passions for different other forms of art was so encouraging. Okay. And moving to Atlanta really helped me with, I guess, realizing that I wasn't alone. Like, that's my advice for everyone. Don't feel as though you're alone in what you're doing. There are so many people that want to do the same thing. Absolutely. So, yeah. That's great advice.
Find your niche, find your place, call your people to you, and go look for them. Don't be scared to honestly
especially
try.
Nowadays with social media.
Exactly. And that's why I was talking about, like, do you go on a Facebook group? You could go on TikTok and just start using hashtags. I mean,
you know what? I will say Twitter has been the best so far.
Black Twitter or just Twitter?
little bit of both. Black Twitter
Okay.
for sure, because Black Twitter is where I get a lot of the promotion, and then the rest of Twitter, you know, catches. You know how they move.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like, oh, okay, you know, you
I'll
can do
hop
this.
on.
You've been out here for years, but I'll act like I discovered you. You know.
Yo, that's how I word to everything. That's how I feel right now about this radio stuff, because I've been doing this for like 2 years.
It's a grind. They don't lie when they tell you that.
You on the radio? You're like, what? It was like, girl, stop playing with me. You see me post every day.
Like, you work in animation?
No way. I mean, I see that all you post is pictures on your Instagram, but I didn't think that's what you do. Like, maybe you are working an office somewhere.
Silly.
You square? So, Nickelodeon, what was that process like? How did you know that they were hiring? Was it like a school thing and you applied? Like, how did that work?
I've applied to Nickelodeon since I was a freshman in college.
As
right?
you should.
As you should.
Respectfully.
And it wasn't them specifically either. As I almost said an animator. As a person that works in animation, the best thing you can do is like apply, throw your stuff all over the place. You know.
Okay. So like Cartoon Network too?
Everywhere.
Adult
Cartoon
Swim?
Network, the big names, of course, Disney,
Okay.
Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network. You have a lot of smaller studios in the city, some out of the city. The pandemic has also been a huge help with people finally deciding like, okay, since we can't move anyone, you have to work from home.
Okay, fire.
So Nickelodeon was it was a bit of a blessing at the same time as it was my hard work, because at that time, whatever application had been sent in, I couldn't tell you. I've sent in multiple applications. I don't know where they end up, never got a response, nothing like that.
That's crazy.
It's to be expected, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And this was around last year, I want to say the start of September. I got an email.
Fire.
Random guy, to me at the time, random guy is like, hey, blah, blah, blah. We saw your work. We looked through your portfolio. I was throwing my information all over the place. And we would like to have a meeting with you, us and a few of the other producers. And then I look at the tag of the email. It says Nickelodeon Animation Studios. I'm looking at my friends. I'm looking at myself like, this is a scam.
It has to be.
There's no way. Why would they hit me up when I didn't even apply? It's a scam.
But I did 5 years ago.
But I literally
like 20 times.
Like, no, but I did apply about like 30 times within the last 4 years.
No way.
And like that's probably the hardest part when it comes to working in animation. You really will apply, and sometimes you might not get a response for years to come. Other times, depending on who you're applying to, they'll find you and it'll be easy. But yeah, long story short, had a meeting. There were about 5 of them there. I actually wasn't intimidated or nervous.
That's the best part. When you know you got that thing in the bag, know.
But also, I was just so tired.
Oh.
I was just gone from the fact, like I was present.
Yeah.
But I was just kind of like, you know, if you don't accept me, it's not going to be the end of the world. I'm used to rejection. Let's do this.
Oh my God. What is your sign? What's your zodiac sign?
I'm an Aries.
I'm about to say, you got to be an Aries or a Taurus, because the way you just like, what are you going to do? The worst thing you could do is tell me no. And you asked me here.
Look, and you invited me, so really you making yourself look dumb if you reject me. I can't feel bad at that point.
Yo,
I can't feel bad.
Yeah.
But shout out to everyone that was in that meeting. It went by really smoothly.
Yeah.
I came in a little, like, very stern and stuff, because, you know, as a Black creator,
a little hot.
You have to be twice as presentable.
Of course,
to be just
of course.
as good. And everyone was really relaxed. He said, "No, we're asking about your process. We want to know your availability." I'm sitting here.
So they pretty much gave you the job, and they was just asking you if you wanted it without asking you.
I thought the email was like, "Oh, we saw your work. We want to interview you." It was no, we need a background painter, and we like what you do. So when
come
on? And I completely misread the room, and I'm just sitting there, and they're like, no. We have the NDA here ready for you. We just want to know if you're available.
Oh, period.
Just my reaction in the Zoom. I'm sitting here on Zoom, my button up, I'm like,
are you telling me what I want to hear?
Of course I'm available. It never happened before.
Are you the big orange brand? Oh, okay. It's like, okay. Yeah, nah, fine. You guys.
We've just been going up since then.
Consistently. I love to see it. I love to hear it. And to me, like, once again, I want to highlight your age, because being 23, Black man, that works in animation. right? That works in animation and then has been pursuing this all your life and has loved illustrations, have loved drawing all your life, is like, wow. You start to think like, dang, have I reached the pinnacle of my life? But it's like, no, of course not.
No, this is just the beginning for me.
It's just the beginning.
And when that finally hit me, like everything I've been through has led to this.
Yeah.
It really, like, I don't even know the word. I guess it gave me some form of validation. Like, oh, this wasn't for nothing.
Of course.
Everything you've been through, because it's been a lot of ups and downs, especially going through college.
Yeah.
And,
talk about it.
Ooh, college was a lot. And
Talk about it,
I'm gonna say this right now. Y'all can quote me. Any person that acts like, if you got friends that are in an art school and all you think they do is arts and craft, I'm gonna need you to stop it.
It's not true.
I'm gonna need you to stop it, because that's not at all. I wish it was just that sometimes.
It's funny. One of my best friends, I was on the phone with her last night. We found a PDF of a book for her. Cause you know how it goes. You know how it goes. And so just her being like, man, I'm taking a coding class because people want me to do front office work, and I gotta learn the front, but that's where the money is. But once I learn it, I'll be able to have easy jobs.
And you know what? I got a little lucky in that way, because what I wanted to do with art is a little corporate. Like, there are so many illustration. It's hard to describe because it's such a broad term for hundreds of things you can do with it.
Literally from like books to ads.
You can work in editorial, you can work commercials, you can work ads, billboards, anything. Like, it's
just as an illustrator.
Just as an illustrator. It's hard to define at this point what an illustrator is. And
see, they don't tell you that in school though.
At all.
Because an illustrator is just the person that made the pictures of the book.
Yeah, and that's where the challenge came from in college, because a lot of the time, me already knowing what I wanted to do, and specifically knowing that I wanted to do that with environments. Okay. School got a little tough because a lot of our courses were very editorial based and very like self-focused. And what I do is completely opposite. I do work editorial when I do my own commissions. But when you work with a team on an animation or like a movie, anything, when you work with a team, it's a lot of in tandem pieces, you know? I do this one thing so that the person after me can do this next thing, and it all comes together. Whereas in school,
so it's literally a team. It's like an assembly line for a TV show.
And this is my first job too, so I'm learning a lot about the pipeline. And college was just like, we had to do all the pieces by ourselves.
And that's what I was gonna ask you next, is like, versus you doing everything to now it's like, no, I just do this one thing really, really good, and then it goes on to somebody else.
And you know what? No one told me. I didn't realize it on my own. I didn't realize that that's what it would be. I'm thinking that this level of work and stress that I've been through is probably what I'm gonna have to get used to.
And it
wasn't at all, and I'm so grateful for that.
Yo, that's a blessing. That's a blessing. And see, and that even goes to show you gotta get ready so that when the door opens, you already are ready and can handle whatever level of stress, because it's not gonna matter.
That's the upside, is because I know how to do a few things. I have this one specialty, but if needed, I can also perform these other tasks.
So look at you, just adding value. Just adding value. Just over here, just being, existing as a beautiful black man that can illustrate. that works in animation, because we can't say animator, because it's a whole nother facet.
Like, literally, I have so much respect for people that animate, and going to college showed me that's another cool thing about where I went to. Having to do everything on one side, yes, but I'm still just an illustrator. Seeing all of that on the other side as well. We had animators, sequential artists, film and TV students, and it's like, a lot of things have a lot of work that not enough people give credit to. Yeah, it's such a weird thing to me.
Yo, and because it starts when you're a kid. Right? And I was talking to my daughter, who's 7, and she's like, Mom, it's easy. They just draw it and they put it on there and then it goes on the TV. And I'm like, now I can say, like, baby, no. That's not how it goes. And it's so many more steps.
It's so much more.
Who knows how long it was developing for? Just the words. And then you got to find the actors before we can even... and then we start drawing.
And it's funny learning that as you grow up. Like, as much as I could learn on my own, it's like, okay, being a kid watching Samurai Jack. Oh, cool, they just drew it and put it up there.
I thought so.
I thought so too. Getting older, and then you're more aware, and it's just like, oh, they're announcing a new season of something, but it's not gonna come out for the next 2 years. It takes them 2 years to work on it. Like,
Yeah.
Spider-Verse took however many years. They've been working on the second one since the first one.
Oh,
Like-
see, now you saying things I never even thought of.
You never saw the teaser?
I saw the teaser, but you know how Marvel
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
You just think that they just holding back.
No, like if
They're actually working on it.
if live action takes a long time, you can't begin to imagine what animation takes.
You know what? And shout out to Tim Burton, because Nightmare Before Christmas took like 9 years to
Ooh,
finish, and that was stop motion.
that was stop motion. That's a whole nother.
See, and it's all together though, but it's all, and it goes under this one bridge of making kids happy.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
so kids just think it couldn't be hard to please me because I'm easy.
And I think that's been my favorite part about it so far, realizing that there are companies and teams that aren't just putting out content, just
Right.
mindless content for kids.
Right.
Like, a lot of what we do, like, oh, there has to be a lesson in it. There has to be a visual where the kids don't get a certain idea, but they get like a positive one. It also gets psychological, but I don't know if I can talk on any of that. 'Cause-
Yo, listen, you know what? You don't have to, because they did a whole documentary on, was it Netflix or Hulu, talking about Nickelodeon and how it started, and how it started off as like a free public TV show, educational show for kids that grew into this, to the slime. The slime did it. Respectfully, the slime did it. And once we saw the green slime, kids went nuts.
Kids went ballistic.
We went ballistic. And
Still
then,
going ballistic.
yeah, and then I don't know, the era of like the Ren and Stimpies came out, and then I think they were just doing trial
They were,
and
just,
error.
they were going crazy. You know, I was really little when that era was a thing. I can't tell you. I'm glad I wasn't as aware as I am now, because I would just watch it and know that, like, I don't know
If
what's
this is
going
right.
on.
Yeah.
But it's flashy and colorful, so whatever.
I didn't know if it was a mouse and a cat, if it was a cat and a dog.
Still don't know.
I don't know why they were sleeping in the same bed and the cat played the wife, you know, and Stimpy played
And
like.
it's nice to see
Yeah.
TV progress as well, because now it's getting more inclusive. Now there
Absolutely.
are characters that represent more demographics, and it's
Absolutely.
really good to just be a part of that.
You over here changing the world, Adisa Kareem. Thank you so much for sharing your gift. Thank you for being here. Thank you
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for talking to the people. You know what I'm saying? Where can the people support you? Where can they find you? Where can they find your pieces?
If anyone wants to support me, you can find me on Instagram at disa.reem. That's DISA.REEM. Or you can also find me on Twitter. It's my full name, Adisa Kareem Art, ADISA KAREEM Art. So you can find me on either of those platforms. You can find my email and everything through my link tree on both accounts, and feel free to shoot me an email, check out my website, anything.
Yeah, because y'all got money anyways, and you know your house looking bland, so go ahead and get you an art. You know what I'm saying? Get you a piece of art for the wall. You feel me? Holla at my boy Kadisa. Oh my God.
Wow.
Blank that. Adisa. Holla at my boy Adisa Kareem in the building. This is the RachTheGreat Show.